Richie. Richie. Richie.
A pleasant good morning and welcome back to the 2024 NBBA World Series of Beep Baseball, presented by Mind's Eye Radio and the St. Louis Lighthouse for the Blind, and sanctioned by the National Beep Baseball Association. It is day 3 of competition, all leading up to the championship game on Saturday, and we are back in the winner's bracket. Only 4 undefeated teams remain in the winner's bracket. 2 semifinal games going at 8 o'clock, and we are back on field 12 for the Gateway Archers, the number 2 seed and hometown favorites, as they take aim at the 2-time defending world champion Indy Edge, the 3 seed. David Benny here alongside Rosina Foster. We are on field 12 at Slicer Complex in St. Charles, Missouri, for a matchup that both of these teams have been itching for all year long. Somehow, neither the Edge nor the Archers have faced one another this year, although they have seen each other at plenty tournaments. They have passed like ships in the night until today. The winner of this game will play at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning for a spot in the championship game. The loser will drop down to the elimination bracket and have to win 3 games to get back. Rosina, it is a nice, bright, kind of sunshiny morning and beautiful wind, breeze, weather conditions, and this should be a classic.
They just tossed the coin up at home plate. So Archers did win that, and they are going to be the home team. So they're heading back over. We're going to have Archers on our right on the first base side. They're getting ready to take a huddle now. Edge is going to prepare to bat as they are on our third base side. Edge is wearing black with purple print jerseys. Archers are wearing black with their bright blue and pink arch and the arrow on the front. Starting up on the lineup for, they still haven't set it up, and it looks like the Archers have asked for Caleb Wright to be patched. So we have our umpire over there now patching Caleb Wright for the Edge.
And that is the prerogative of the opposing team. We have not seen it yet at this World Series until now, but you do have the prerogative if there's a player who has substantial usable vision and you feel like some extra eye shade protection is necessary, to request the additional eye shade protection, and then they will then apply that. So we will have a little bit of a delay, more than likely, before we get going. The Gateway Archers in just their 4th season of competition, but don't let that fool you.
You can hear the Archers off to our right as they're definitely getting very excited and riled up for this match.
The Gateway Archers, winners of the Viva Las Beep Ball Tournament in March in Las Vegas, winners of the Sooner State Invitational in Oklahoma in April, winners of the Indy Beep Ball Bonanza in June. They have only lost 2 games this season, and both of them were shorthanded to the Indy Thunder, so they've had nothing but success. For the Indy Edge, a slow start to the season, but they've really picked it up as of late, and the Edge, of course, the 2-time defending world champions with household names such as Corian White, Eric Rodriguez, Miguel Tello, and a newcomer, Caleb Wright, who will be in the lineup as the designated hitter today, who has a home run at this World Series. The Indy Edge, coached by Steve Michaels. The Gateway Archers, coached by Orlando Gonzalez. The pitching matchup, Kyle Kennedy for the Edge, Mike Curtis for the Archers. These teams want a piece of each other. They've been talking about this all year, hoping to get this matchup. And when the brackets for this World Series came out, this was one we circled, that if everything went according to schedule, this would be the game. And here we are opposite this game on Field 7, the other semifinal, the Indy Thunder and the BSO Philly Fire. The winner of these 2 games will play at 11 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay, so that is going to be just a slight correction here we've gotten on Caleb Wright. He's not going to be the designated hitter. He is just going to be in the 6th spot for their lineup. And we have Ja'Cory and Jason Dobbs. So Ja'Cory is going to be DH for Jason Dobbs.
That is very interesting. So they're going to put Caleb Wright, the less experienced player, out in the field, and Ja'Cory Wiley, who's a decent defender with championship game experience, will be the designated hitter. So the batting order, Rosina, for the Indy Edge as they prepare to come up to bat will look something like this. Corey White will lead it off. Ja'Cory Wiley, the designated hitter, will bat second with Jason Dobbs in the flex spot. Corian White will bat third. Eric Rodriguez will bat fourth. Miguel Tello fifth. And Caleb Wright will round out the batting order for the defending world champions.
So we have the Archers are now lined up on their baseline as they are having their blindfolds checked by Mike Woodard. And just a quick thank you to our sponsors for this game. We're going to have IFB Solutions, New View, Oklahoma, and the Ed Fitzpatrick team at Cross Country Mortgage. As the Archers are doing their huddle quickly before heading out to the field, are you seeking a job or looking to build your ideal workforce? IFB Solutions is here to help. For job seekers who are blind or visually impaired and interested in work-at-home customer service roles, explore career opportunities with IFB Solutions. If you're an employer needing reliable call center workforce, IFB Solution can connect you with skilled visually impaired professionals who deliver top performance and low turnover. Job seekers email at careers@ifbsolutions.org and contact Brent Burkholder. If you are an employer, contact Shannon Satterfield at ssatterfield@ifbsolutions.org and partner with IFB Solutions today.
And if you can't tell from both sidelines, both of these teams are fired up. This may be the game of the season to this point. I got to tell you, I'm about half fired up here, Rosina, on what is a picture-perfect morning for Beep Baseball in St. Charles, Missouri.
Don't have a single cloud in the sky yet early this morning, DV. Sun has come up just over the horizon midway, and we are sending up Corey White to the plate.
Corey White, of course, has home run power. He's most famously won a world championship with a home run back in 2021. And him and his brother Corian moved over to the Indy Edge, and all they've done is win 2 straight championships there. So basically, no team outside the state of Indiana has won a World Series since 2015. The Gateway Archers are looking to change that here today with Mark Morris and Justin Howland and David Smith, Ethan Johnston, Rich Crussell, Kyle Bora, all these names, Ricky Castaneda, some of these you've heard before in championship games with other teams. The Archers added this year, and they knew they were going to be hosting the World Series, and Jason Frazier and Mike Curtis and Orlando Gonzalez, and these folks have built a team that they think can win a title. They could take a big step toward that right now. Game on, Rosina.
Here we go. We're gearing up. Kyle Kennedy has the ball in hand, ready for that first pitch. And it's going to be a pop-up. Looks like it will be short center as he runs to first. Ricky Castaneda is going to be safe. First run up there, Corey White.
Good pitch. First pitch, and Corey hung up a nice high pop-up, kind of right in the middle of the defense. Both short players were going to have to move for that ball, and Corey, with all that speed, was almost to the base when the ball hit the ground. 1-0 Edge. The Archers got here in the winners bracket with wins yesterday over the BCS Outlaws and New Jersey Titans. Neither game was close. The Edge had wins over the Atlanta Chaos and then a close 5-2 win over the Boston Renegades.
And Corey getting a light taste of it as it goes bouncing ground short on the left. Oh, bounces out of Mark's hands, and he's going to be another run.
You don't see that very often from Mark Morris. The Archers need to get into this game. That was a ball that Mark Morris picks up 9 times out of 10, and he didn't do it there. 2-0 Edge.
This is going to bring Corian up to the plate. 2 quick runs up instantaneously for the Edge. This is why they're up there at the top. Getting a base check.
Now Corian, the younger brother of Corey.
It's going to be a strike.
Corian, of course, such a big part of the Edge's championship run after the Thunder's championship run.
Going to go just underneath the bat.
Corian had a walk-off hit in last year's World Series in a game that we called over the Jets. Several Jets are on the Archers sideline right now.
And took a pass on that.
First take of the day, just getting started. 2 in and nobody out, top of the first for the Indy Edge. Kyle told him he was behind that ball. He's a little bit late with the swing.
And it's going to be another strike. First out for the Edge as they lead 2-0.
And that's a key to the game, in my mind, for Kyle Kennedy and the Edge, is to minimize the strikeouts. With all of the power and speed he's got in his lineup, it does no good if you don't put the ball in play, and so they're going to have to watch that. And for Mark Morris and the Gateway Archers, you saw a key earlier, make the plays you're supposed to make. Because if they don't do that, the Edge could put up a lot of runs.
It's going to go just over the pitch for Eric Rodriguez.
Eric Rodriguez, who led off basically his entire career, now in the 4 spot in this game.
Just underneath.
They moved him down in the batting order. Frankly, he has struggled at times this year. For instance, in the Indy Beat Ball Bonanza, he was 3 for 19 for the tournament at the plate. That's not like Eric. One of the best ever on both sides of the ball. already a 7-time world champion.
It's going to be third strike.
7 championships and 4 MVP awards for Eric Rodriguez already. He's only 24 years old. Can you believe that?
That's incredible. He's going to take a pass here. Then this is Kyle Kennedy pitching.
Big pitch here, full count now.
And it's going to be that fly pop up over on the left as he runs to first, just in by Justin's hands.
Got him.
And we're going to have a double check. He's going to come up here and check with the first baseman.
What a play by, was that Holland out there?
That was Justin Holland.
What a play. The Edge think it was still on the ground. It sounded almost simultaneous, but of course, it's about as far an angle away as we can have.
He's conferred with the first base. He's going to head over to third base.
This is the important one because this is the one that may have gotten the angle. Over at third, that's Missy Lykowski, the third base judge. Still waiting on a call.
Right behind Mark, he had headed back. Justin laid right down to grab that, but it was tight.
Mike Woodard will take as much time as he needs to get it right. We saw him ump this game of the day on Tuesday when Boston and Bayou City he played.
He's out.
And he
They're
did.
calling out.
They did call him out. All right, we're 1 for 1 from the booth. Give that put out to Justin Holland. That's a great play on a nice hit ball by Eric Rodriguez and hung up there.
Thank you.
2 outs now and 2 in, so that kind of makes up for the boo-boo by Mark Morris, because that was supposed to be a run. 9 times out of 10, when Eric Rodriguez hits it, that's a run. Nice play by Holland.
We have Miguel Tello up at the plate.
Defensive specialist in the batting order this week. The Edge are missing a key piece. Nick Mulheron did not make the trip.
A little bit of a late swing.
Mulheron was bit by the injury bug this year. He's one of their best. He's not here, so you got Miguel Tello in the lineup.
And it's going to be a bouncing grounder short on the right as he runs to first. Ricky Castaneda over there, and he's got that.
Castaneda will take care of that fairly easily and end the inning. So after 2 straight runs to start the game, good Archer defense to shut it down from there. 2 on the board for the Edge. Gateway Archers coming up.
Archers heading in. They're definitely cheered up, holding the Edge 2-2. Edge is going to head out onto the field. A little bit slower momentum than they had originally started, but this is still very early in the game.
And they're going to do the blindfold check.
Do the blindfold check.
Teams have waived it all week. You can waive it if you want, but if one team wants it done, you do it. And in a game like that of this magnitude, I don't blame them for requesting just to make sure that all of the equipment is in place and worn correctly. As we take a look at this star-studded Gateway Archers lineup, it all starts at the top with Mark Morris. He won a championship with the Indy Edge, followed by Justin Holland. He won 2 championships with the Indy Edge. Then David Smith, the former San Antonio Jet. Then you've got Rich Crussell, the designated hitter in the lineup, with the designated fielder in his spot, Kyle Bora, Ethan Johnston, and rounding it out, Ricky Castaneda, the other former San Antonio Jet. So you've got plenty of big game experience on this Archer team, albeit not so much with the Archers. The Gateway Archers finished 9th in last year's World Series, believe it or not, and they were not happy about that finish. And so they added Holland, they added Smith, they added Castaneda. Mike Curtis became the full-time pitcher, and they have not looked back. They have been locked on all year long.
So they're sitting out behind. You can hear a lot of the cheering out there on the Edge.
Got a Big crowd out here for this one, even as early as it is here with this 8 a.m. start. It has been a very long time since we had a hometown team at a World Series as good as the Gateway Archers. I dare say you might have to go all the way back to 2009 when the World Series was in California and the West Coast Dogs won it with the likes of Neil McDonald and Eric Mazariegos and Lupe Perez. That was a long time ago. Here we go. Mark Morris.
It's going to be a grounder out into short left,
That's
right
not
to
gonna work.
Eric, and he's heading Eric. That is a quick, easy scoop up right there.
Yeah, you don't want to start just hitting sweet ground balls to Eric Rodriguez because he will eat them up all day. One out, that's a big one. And whenever you can retire Mark Morris, who scores probably 85% of the time he puts the ball in play, not that time.
First batter up for the day and out. It's going to send us to Justin Holland.
The NBBA's all-time home run leader at this point. He did hit one earlier this year in a non-sanctioned tournament out in Las Vegas. He was the first player of the season to hit a home run. He did it against the Austin Blackhawks.
And just a little high over the pitch.
And Mike Curtis, and we've said this all week, if he misses, he wants to miss high.
And it's popping right back over to cameraman Cam.
Now, they were right there on that one. You want to miss, if you're going to miss, you want to miss high. You don't want bottom of the bat on these fields with these teams, which is exactly what you saw with Morris.
Just sliding under the bat.
He's
Just over the top of the bat.
all right, so we've got a rough start now again for the Archers, just like
2
in the top of the
outs.
first. You got a ground out by Morris and then a strikeout by Howland. And now the slugging David Smith, who had 4 second-place finishes with the San Antonio Jets. And when that team was unable to field a team for this year's World Series, he jumped all over the opportunity to go play with the Gateway Archers, him and his teammate Ricky Castaneda. And D. Smith has been outstanding, although he has battled health issues, which he's going to continue to battle. We wish him the very best, but he is here and he is playing.
Getting that base check on first, and now third.
David Smith,
first
the
again.
2022 batting champion. He hit 800 for the World Series in Beaumont, Texas, 2 years ago. 800.
And third. Just barely over the top of that bat.
He jumped out a little early on him. Mike Curtis told him.
It's going to be another strike.
You know, experience in this situation. The Archers of a team have not been in a game like this at the World Series before. The Edge have been in plenty.
And it's going to be a short pop-up. It's going to go foul right to Mike Woodard.
We will have score updates from the Thunder and the Fire as we go along in this game. There are also some elimination games going on at the bottom of the bracket here at this time, and they'll be going all day today.
It's going to be a pop-up into mid-center as he runs for third. And that's going to be the out.
What a play!
That is going to be, I'm pretty sure that was
Corey.
Corey White out there.
That number 3, Corey
That was number 3, Corey White.
That's a bonus. He's not that he can't play defense, as you just saw, but he's known for his bat. When he picks up a ball like that, that's huge. And the Edge get a 3-up, 3-down inning. We go to the second. The world champions up 2-0.
And another blindfold check over on the right for the Archers before they head out to take the field. And New View, Oklahoma. It's not what you can see, it's what you can be. They are empowering individuals who are blind or have low vision. Since 1949, New View, Oklahoma has empowered individuals who are blind or have low vision, maximizing their opportunities for independence through all stages of life. They do this in 3 primary ways: comprehensive clinic and low vision services, meaningful employment opportunities, and engaging community programs. For more information, please visit us online at nvoklahoma.org.
Let's go.
We're going to get our first look now at Caleb Wright, who we've heard so much about. Second-year player. He was a Gateway Archer. The Archers, when they added all that talent to their team, frankly sort of cut bait with Caleb Wright, but he's a local kid. The Edge scooped him up right away, and he has been nothing short of fabulous. He hit 2 home runs in the Bolingbrook Bash, and he hit 1 on Tuesday. So that's 3 for the season.
So Mike Woodard is out talking to Kyle Kennedy as they finish setting up out in the field. And you hear them sounding off out there. We're going to head back in and give Caleb his at-bat.
You know, you were talking about New View, Oklahoma, and they're great partners with us. They hosted that Sooner State Invitational, which the Gateway Archers won with a 4-0 record, but not without a fight. They had to go to the bottom of the 6th and walk off Bayou City on that Sunday morning in April. Thank you, New View. Look forward to seeing you next year.
And it's going to pop right back over to our cameraman again, rolling off the top of his bat.
He's right on it, and he's got a lot of strength. When he makes contact, if that ball gets elevated and lofted, it can really fly.
Get it and go. Hit it and go.
Corey White on deck.
A little bit low, trying to get a high pop up there.
There are no less than 4 different players in this game who have hit at least 1 home run in their career, and you can argue that Eric's hit a couple and not been credited with them, but
Just underneath the bat.
we have not seen a home run at our field yet.
Not yet, but they have happened. We did see the double play, though.
Yes,
One of
and
them.
that was one of the finest plays you will ever see. If you haven't seen the photo sequence of Tyler Rodriguez's double play in the 5th inning of yesterday's game, check it out.
Just underneath the pitch. That's going to be a strike and an out for the Edge.
That's the problem with a young player, especially when they do hit home runs, is they can get that mentality and they can become a little inconsistent. That's another strikeout, and that's the only thing really that's held the Edge down. That and a good Justin Holland play. 1 out, back to the top of the order, and Corey. Corey 1 for 1 with a putout already.
Winding up that bat up over the shoulder with purple batting gloves. And it's going to be a smashing grounder on the left, going foul.
Down the
Mark
line.
Morris was right there on top of it, but that is foul.
I'm loving that one, Corey. I'm loving that one, baby.
Braden Rodriguez catching for Kyle Kennedy on the Edge.
Corey has pop to all fields. His tremendous home run power is middle and left, of course, but he can go opposite field and punish you there too. He's dangerous. He is a former batting champion as well.
And it's going to be foul hitting Mike Woodard as it goes to the right.
Umpire abuse there. Mike will be all right. He is an IHSA, Illinois High School Association certified umpire. He does softball, volleyball. I don't know that he does baseball anymore, but I know he does softball and volleyball for the Illinois High School Association, which is the governing body for prep sports in the state of Illinois.
And just underneath the swing. Turning in towards Kyle there just a hair more. And taking a pass.
That's a good take on a 3-strike count because they really weren't. They weren't on that last pitch. It was a clean swing and miss.
And smashing foul again, high and far to the left.
Well, they're aiming for that left field line, but he's yanking it a little too much. You're seeing a little bit of the power he has, though. Ooh.
The sun is starting to get a little high in the sky and turning a little bit blistery. No breeze at all to gentle us yet this morning.
There was some kind of low-hanging fog a little earlier, though, no? Missy, our third base judge, was commenting on some of the fog that was hanging low because the grass was very wet with dew this morning.
Back up at the plate.
Oh, he struck him
just
out.
over the top of that. That will be an out.
Too many of those. I count that now as the third strikeout of the ball game now already for Kyle Kennedy, and that's what's helped keep this a 2-0 spread. As Corey Wiley to the plate, the former Bayou City Heat. He played in a championship game against some of his own now teammates with the Bayou City Heat in 2018 up in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. They actually upset the Thunder in the first game and had to play an if-necessary game, and then the Thunder won that one. So Jacory's got experience as well.
Jacory at the ready. We're going to hold and wait for this bus behind us idling.
And we will let you know that 50/50 raffle tickets are being sold at the headquarters tent or by going and seeing Rayleigh or Kara on the Indy Thunder bench. And there are a couple of good young saleswomen. They took every dollar I had out of my pocket last night. I've got my raffle tickets. Y'all should go get yours. Kathy Quinn is selling Jim Quinn coins. She sold about 40 of them yesterday. All proceeds from that benefit the league. They are $10 a piece. Get your Jim Quinn coin, symbolic of the founders of our organization.
Now we have our buses left, but we do have a plane overhead. I'm going to hold for that one.
We want to...
And we're at the top of the second.
Want to recognize also the NBBA Management Executive Committee, Treasurer John Lykowski, Secretary Steve Guerra, Public Relations Director for now, Richie Flores, Tournament Director Cassie Hopkins, and the President in the NBBA is Jerry Wendell. And I had some special congratulations to my superior, Richie Flores, on being elected the next incoming NBBA President.
And we are now cleared, ready to go. And it's going to be a short bouncing grounder, foul on the right.
We haven't seen a whole lot to right field yet, although Castaneda got one over there off the bat of Miguel Tello.
That was the only one over there. Corey back up at home plate. I'm having to move off the plate a hair.
Fire got one run in the first. The Thunder did not. It's 1-0. Fire heading to the second.
It's going to be a short little pop-up right back to Braden.
Interesting matchup over there between the Thunder and the Fire. Thanks to Melshon Ellis for score updates on that game. Keep them coming. The winner of these two games will meet in the winner's bracket final tomorrow morning.
It's going to be another roll off the top of the bat. Foul to Mike. It's been a little bit of a difficult struggle for the Edge here at the top of this second.
Well, yes, they're battling. They've had 2 straight strikeouts. They're getting contact. It's just not in play. Corey was early on all of his.
And we're going to take care of that with a fly ball to left, bouncing off Mark's knees as Corey runs to first. And that is going to be a run.
Tough luck, man. Mark, it seemed like Mark did what he was needed to do to get there in position, and it just bounced off of him, huh?
Came up off the ground, bounced off his knee, and shot away from him. Justin coming up from behind to back him up, but not making it before Corey was at first.
And look, Mark Morris has become the catalyst of this team. He's unquestionably one of the top players in the game today. He is having a little bit of a rough go, and he's just got to focus and know that there's a lot of game left.
Still early on in this, as we have Corian White up to the plate, checking the field. Getting that base check.
Did you know that Corian White has been on a championship team every season of his career?
And that's going to be foul on the left as it almost hits third base.
So Corian broke in as a rookie in 2017 in West Palm Beach, Florida. Didn't play a whole lot with the Thunder that year, but got into some games and then became a starter, and he has won championship each of the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years of his career.
Corian back at the plate.
Come on, Corian.
And the only reason he doesn't have 7 is because of the COVID pandemic in 2020.
It's going to be a grounder just past Ricky on the right as he runs for third. Ethan Johnson there to back him up, but that's going to be a run.
Well, that time they went to right field, and his speed got him down to third base. And, you know, if you get the ball by Ricky, chances are when you're that fast, you know, that's a little bit of an opening there.
And Ricky laid down there trying to stop it with the edge of his feet, but it went just past his toes into Ethan Johnson territory. This is going to bring up Eric Rodriguez to the plate. Eric with his thin purple headband streaming out behind him.
Boy, they needed that, so after a rough start to the inning with back-to-back Ks, now you got 2 runs on the board and 4 on for the Edge. 4-0, top of the second. And now the reigning, 3-time reigning defensive MVP, Eric Rodriguez. Hey, but by the way, he can hit a little bit too. He's got above 600 career average.
Pop up foul on the right. Over towards our main camera tent.
Let's go, keeper. Get him out of here now. We ain't going nowhere. Let's go.
Kyle wiping the ball off, all the moisture. And it's going to be a grounder far on the right. Ricky's running for it. He's kicked it with his feet. They're going to go in. That's going to be a run.
Yep.
So basically, Ricky had caught that. He knocked it out of the field and into the run line. And just before coming to first base, Eric would have hit him as he was reaching down for the ball. So they did call a stop. And that is going to go to the runner.
But at that point, the fielder was too close into the baseline, and so when they had to call the play off, that is interference fielder. Not intentional, of course. He was chasing the ball, and so that is a run for Eric on a ball in the coffin corner opposite field. That's tough.
It's going to take that to a 5-0 for the Edge here at the top of the second, having Miguel Tello at the plate.
This is a 3-run rally after 2 outs, and 2 outs runs. You know, we saw this last year from the Edge, piling up 2-out runs, and that just really can break down a defense. No different than any other sport.
It's really tough there for Ricky out there. Just happened to bounce off and into the line of running. Took a pass. Kyle asking for his bench to quiet down. And just a little on the inside of the bat.
they need to get Tello here. Tello a good hitter, but he doesn't have the pop that some of these other players do, and so this is an opportunity that the Archers need to take advantage of.
Just popped and rolled off the top of the bat.
I'm a little bit surprised not to see Brandon Chesser in the lineup in a game like this. I don't know if that's injury related or just comfort level of Kyle Kennedy, but Miguel Tello gets the start in the batting order.
Just under the swing.
One pitch away from getting out of this now for the Archers. Ooh,
Yeah, it's going to be
and he was
right
early
over
struck.
the top of it. So that is going to bring the Archers back in for their attempt to get back up on the board and try to take control as we're at 5-0 going into the bottom of the second.
All right, so remember that beep baseball is a sport played by blind and visually impaired athletes. All players are required to wear a blindfold because there are different levels of visual acuity, and to make sure that everybody is on a level playing field, nobody is allowed to have any eyesight as they are playing the game. There are 6 players aside. We play 6 innings, 3 outs per inning. There are 4 strikes. There is only, you're allowed to take 1 pass ball. The pitcher in this game pitches for the offensive team. Think coach pitch, trying to get the blindfolded hitters to put the ball in play. There is a 40-foot arc that the ball must cross to be considered a fair ball. That's a safety precaution. The pitcher stands 20 feet away and pitches underhand. A 170-foot ball on the fly goes over the line, is a home run, which counts for 2 runs. If the ball is caught on 1 bounce, it is considered a double play.
Looks like our defense is almost set out in the field there as the edge counts off, and that's going to have us Rich Crussell at the plate for the Archers.
When the ball is hit, one of 2 bases will be turned on manually and will emit a buzzing sound. The hitter needs to first determine which base has been activated and then sprint that 100 feet down to the buzzing base. If they hit the base before the ball is picked up by the defense, it is a run. If the ball is picked up by the defense before the runner reaches the base, it is an out. Simple as that. There are no rounding the bases and no throwing to bases in this sport. Here we go. Bottom of the second, 5-0 Edge. Ricky Caston.
No, Rich Crussell.
Rich Crussell.
And it's going to be a bouncing grounder short and to right as he runs for first bounce. And he's going to have it. That is Corian White. Nope. Yep, Corian White.
Yep. Each of the White brothers now has a putout in this game. Corey White, number 3. Corian White playing at short right, number 11. That is the same front tandem as the Thunder used for those championship run with Eric Rodriguez on the left, Corian White on the right. The only difference is now they wear the Edge jersey. They've got to get the ball off the ground here. That's not going to work.
Ethan Johnston up for the Archers.
Ethan's had a wonderful season. He was all-tournament on both sides of the ball in Las Vegas. He was all-tournament again in Indy. And he is going to be inducted into the NBBA Hall of Fame at the end of this week. Well-deserved for Ethan Johnston, who was one of my contemporaries when I was playing as a shortstop. And boy, he was a competitor, that's for sure. Former Colorado Storm.
And just underneath that ball.
Somebody's got to get this party started for the Archers here.
It's going to be another strike. strike three, a little late on that.
Not during the pitch, guys. Come on. Here we go.
And here they go. It's a pop-up into mid-right as he runs for third. And that one is going to be the other.
Got him.
That's going to be Corey.
Corey White again, that's his second put out of the game, and right now it doesn't matter where the Archers hit the ball. The Edge have an answer. 2 outs in the bottom of the second, and the Indy Edge so far are showing why they're the two-time defending champions. Their defense has been extraordinary.
Did get the ball into play there, but that is going to be another out. We're going to have a Ricky Castaneda up for the Archers.
It's always good to see the elite multi-sport athletes in beep baseball, and Ricky Castaneda is a blind soccer player for Team USA. They're hoping to be in the Paralympics when they come to Los Angeles in 2028. I've seen Ricky Castaneda with a soccer ball before, man. He's phenomenal. He can play some beep baseball too. He was came up with the Fort Worth Lone Star Roadrunners, played a year there, and then Kevin Simpson found him, took him in with the Jets, and he really flourished and came into his own. Now with the Gateway Archers, and we got a plane, Rosita.
Yep, got another plane going overhead as he's finishing up his stance.
This is the largest deficit that the Archers have faced in any meaningful game all season long. 5 runs. Now you've got 2 outs, but here's the thing. Castaneda is at the 6th spot in the lineup for a reason, and that's because of his contact and his speed. Now, if he can turn the lineup here, then you've got the Morris Holland Smith connection. I think this is a pivotal at bat, Rosina.
It's going to be a short little grounder into left as he runs to third. Eric
Foot
coming
race.
up to get that. And he is safe! And that is going to be the first run on the board for the Archers by Ricky Castaneda.
And that's on a swinging bunt, and it was a foot race, speed versus speed. Speed to the base from Ricky, hustling down the third base line, and the charging Eric Rodriguez. Bang, bang. Mike Woodard says the ball was on the ground. In beep ball, you need 3 things to secure the defensive out. Ball has to be off the ground, under control, and away from the body. If it's on the ground, even if you have both hands on it, you have not completed the play. Huge run for the Archers. It's 5-1. Now we're back to the top of the lineup.
On adjusting a blindfold out in the field as we have Mark coming up to the plate. I've also noticed Ricky has changed his batting stance there. He used to keep that bat up tight and close to his body before swinging, and now he has a little bit more of a traditional baseball grip. So just a little bit of a difference there from last year.
And it's given him more power. He's really popping the ball.
Mark Morris with a pop-up, very short left. See if that's going to stay fair, and that is not. Eric was already on top of that, but Mark was almost to the base as well. That one would have been a close one. Mark coming all the way back from first.
So Eric getting worked out a little bit over there.
I think he was very quick on that last one after having just milliseconds off of that last call.
Yeah, Eric's a competitor. He doesn't like losing a close call, and he's ready to make that play had it stayed fair, although Morris was burning the rubber down to the base. We got some athletes in this game as we get later and later on in this tournament now.
Much more intense every game. Quick exhale by Mark.
Come on, Mike.
And that was a little high, just up over the bat. Mike's going to call a hold here for this plane. That one sounds a little bit bigger.
Yes, and it Sounds like it's gaining altitude as it passes by from our right to our left as we sit behind the home plate here at our booth at Slicer Complex in St. Charles.
Just rolling off the top of the bat.
And we invite you to stay tuned immediately after the game to hear the Hannigan Team Realty Player of the Game.
And just over the top again.
Oh, second strikeout of Mark Morris, and that's not good. Well, the Archers broke the ice, though. They got a run by Ricky Castaneda, but the Edge hold a 5-1 lead heading to the third, looking for more.
Talking about all our Beat Baseball fans out there, let's hear about the Ed Fitzpatrick team at Cross Country Mortgage, making every mortgage feel like a win. Navigating the mortgage process doesn't have to be overwhelming. When you work with Cross Country Mortgage, you'll collaborate closely with a licensed professional who will make sure that you get the mortgage you deserve. Our entire team is available to assist you from application to closing and beyond. They work tirelessly to remove the frustration from the mortgage process and provide you with a personalized experience. Get in touch with Beat Baseball fan and loan advisor Ed at ed.fitz, that's ed.fitz at ccm.com.
You know, these fields have been so nice. All week long, we should probably recognize our field sponsors, Bill Jones and Sue Slocum, along with Richard Mark, longtime Mind's Eye donors, and Amron, Illinois Power Company, serving downstate Illinois and the St. Louis area, keeping your lights on.
Keeping your lights on, especially, DB. Archers have quickly taken the field after their blindfold check, and this is going to have Caleb Wright back up at the plate for the Edge.
Strikeout victim his first time out. As we said, there have been 2 home runs hit so far at this World Series. Caleb Wright had one, and Tanner Gears of the Bayou City Heat had the other one. And there have been 3 double plays so far, 2 by the same player. Randy George of the New Jersey Titans, who also won an NBBA board seat last night. So it's been a winning week for Randy George.
So congrats, Randy George.
And congrats to Kalari Gertley Jackson, who was reelected to a second term. Congratulations to Axel Cox, also reelected. Mike Woodard, our umpire, he was the leading vote getter. And Jamie Simpson, assistant tournament director, also elected to a 3-year term.
Popping right up into Braden's mitt.
Also, of course, new incoming president will be Richie Flores, and yours truly will be second VP and public relations director. Now we got to do a good job.
And just a little low underneath that swing. See a little bit of the frustration after that swing.
If he can't find Caleb, he's got some other firepower on his bench. I'm going to be interested to see how long they stay with the youngster. Although any swing of his could produce a blast at any time. His home runs in Bolingbrook were in back-to-back at-bats. I'm not even sure Justin Holland's done that before. He's the other one who's hit multiple home runs in a game. It's only happened twice.
And that's going to be another strike. He's going to take a pass, slapping his leg as it goes on by to catch the timing.
Now what he needs to do is keep his weight back and give it a 90% swing here. Nope.
And that's going to be a strike. Another one for Caleb.
You wonder if the stage is a little bit, this is his hometown and that was his former team and he's been wanting this, but he's got 2 strikeouts now and now back to the top. Corey White, however, is off to a hot start in this game, I would say.
And it's 5-1 Edge at the top of the third as we're getting those base checks. and a plane overhead. And as the week goes on, these players are really testing their abilities. They will do tournaments throughout the year where they play for 2 days and play intensely, but this is a week-long, 3 games a day for many of these teams until they get to those top tiers where they're being able to skip those games. So they're all starting to get tired. Tensions, those little weaknesses might come to the forefront as we go throughout the week. And it's gonna be a fly ball out into left as he runs to first behind Mark Morris. Justin, he's already there.
No weakness there for Corey White. Nice high hanger on the left side, and he dropped it in behind Morris. And that's the 6th run for the Indy Edge as Corey White fired up. And you make an interesting point, not just the players, but the pitchers as well. And it's interesting you mention that because Kyle Kennedy has done this before with this number of games. Mike Curtis, this is the most games he's pitched in a 3-day stretch ever, just taking over full-time duties midway through last year's World Series. So it's demanding for the players, the pitchers, the catchers, the spotters, even the head coaches.
Just a lot of stress. Just to constantly be go, 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 game, 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 day after day after day. But they are athletes.
Yes, and they do this knowing that as long as you keep winning, the road gets shorter. Where the road to the championship gets long is when you drop a game and have to play back through the elimination. Somebody, if they go undefeated, is 3 wins away from a world championship. If you win this one today, you play 1 tomorrow. If you win that one, you have to win 1 on Saturday. So as long as you keep winning,
you're golden.
You're golden. Speaking of
Corey Wiley at the plate.
Corey Wiley scored a big run. He's 2 for 2.
And just over the top of the bat.
Corey was the one who scored on the little ground ball after 2 outs in the second to get the Edge going again.
He's going to take a pass as he leans his far shoulder across home plate as it comes through. And it's going to be a pop-up over into left, short to Mark as he runs to first, but
well done.
Mark's got that. It's going to be an out for Mark. The Archers need that, and they need to slow this.
That was a good job tracking that pop-up by Mark Morris, and that's one of the hardest things to do. But the great players know how to track that oscillating sound in the air and get as close to it as you can when it comes down, and these fields are true. He was all over that ball. Good play there. 2 outs, and now they got a chance to get out of this with only 1 run allowed if they can get Corian White. There's a big if in that sentence.
I was like, that's a pretty big if right there.
But they need it. It's a 6-1 score, and right now the Edge are playing at a high level on defense. So they can use an out on Corian White if they can get it. He beat out Eric Rodriguez, he beat out Mark Morris his last time up on a ball.
Just at the edge of that as it tips and drops. And again, just catching the edge and dropping down. And just underneath the swing.
Have to do it again. We experienced this with an 8 o'clock game of the day start in our very first game on Tuesday, where we had quite a bit of air traffic.
Almost every pitch on Tuesday.
And because they play the game by ear, you want the least amount of ambient noise as possible. The rest of it's really been great at this field, but we have had to deal with some planes. We're not far from the airport. Of course.
Taking a pass, slapping the leg as it comes across the plate.
Of course, if you're staying at the Post Hotel, you can basically watch planes take off and land.
And
he was way early.
And
that's the inning. Good inning for the Archers. They only give up 1, and it was earned by Corey White. So it's 6-1 now as we head to the bottom of the third. Holland, Smith, and Crussell due up for the Archers.
definitely where they need to keep them. They need to maintain that for several more innings of holding them.
6-1. Get on the bottom, secure.
Edge lining up on the third base side for a blindfold check by umpire Mike Woodard. A quick shout out, thank you to all the volunteers on all the fields who are making these games possible, running water to keep these players hydrated, the scorekeepers, the base runners, our umpires, people running chairs, tents, making sure everybody has everything they need to play this game. Thank you very much for all of our volunteers everywhere.
We couldn't do it without our volunteers, umpires, scorekeepers, base operators, base judges, runners, the folks you see on the golf carts that are running around delivering water and extra equipment and all of that good stuff. And want to recognize our stream team, Graham Athena and Live Event Productions, and Cam, our cameraman. And I'm David Benny along with Rosina Foster. We are going to have game of the day all the way up to the championship game on Saturday. And you know what? If they have to play 2 on Saturday, we'll be here for both of them. We will have an elimination game later today. Not sure which one it's going to be. We think it'll be in the 2 o'clock time slot. So for the 11 o'clock games, and there's going to be some interesting ones, you can check out streams from the individual teams, and then we're going to be back at 2 o'clock with some game over in a winner go home matchup later today. But right now we are in the winners bracket semifinals, headed to the bottom of the third with the Edge leading the Archers 6-1. Rosina?
Defense is almost set in the field. Mike's headed back up to check to see if our batter, Justin Holland, is ready, with Mike Curtis pitching and Cesar Hermos catching. And popping off just behind to our catcher. Saved the scorekeeper's table. And it's going to be a grounder over into left to see if Eric's going to get to it before he has that.
Of course he will.
Justin hits first.
Of course he'll gobble that one up. Eric's hungry this morning.
He didn't even have to lay down for that. Just got down and on his knees right in front of it, scooped it right up.
The contact just hasn't been there for the Gateway Archers so far today, like we've seen all season long, and the couple of good hits they have were picked up by Corey White. The only run the Archers have scored was Ricky Castaneda on a dribbler that he beat out. David Smith, let's see if he can turn one around here. D. Smith had 3 home runs at last year's World Series, 4 on the season. Can you believe it? He has not hit one yet this year. Of course, he did all his damage with the San Antonio Jets.
Could just be getting into his groove here with the Archers.
David Smith, also one of the founders of our All-Star event, one of the co-organizers, or as we call us, the All-Star Godfathers. Him and Zach Arambula, who couldn't be here this year. You've all heard of him.
Injury.
Yeah.
Going to be another strike.
So if you're listening out there, Zach, shout out to you, man. Look forward to seeing you back up and healthy soon as he rehabilitates that knee.
And pop up high into center,
That
deep
just
as he
landed.
runs to third. They're up. He is going to be safe. Jason Dobbs trying to get to that and had it, but not up before D. Smith hit third. That's another run from previous teammates, Ricky Castaneda and D. Smith.
Best hit of the game so far for the Archers, and if it starts raining later, you'll know why, because that thing was a towering fly ball.
So that is a 6-2 game, bottom of the third, Edge leading with Richie Kressel at the plate for the Archers.
Well, that fired up the Archers sideline a little bit and got that energy level up, and let's see now
Let's
if
see
they can
have that flow through to everyone.
keep the line moving.
Turning in toward the pitcher a little. And just over the top of the bat.
Crussell actually played a couple of seasons with the Indy Edge also. This is before their championship run.
And it's going to be a grounder foul on the left. Rich turns around to head back.
So if you count, Richie Crussell and Ethan Johnson played with the Archers, or with the Edge for one season. That is 4 players on the Archers roster who are former Indy Edge, along with Holland and Morris.
Going to be just underneath the bat. Oh, it seems like a struggle here to get some contact.
It does. It does. Yep.
And that is going to be the strike.
And he lost Richie Crussell, and that's one of his best contact hitters. And so there's a second out. And now Ethan Johnston coming up. Somebody is going to have to light the spark for the Archers here. Getting 1 run every couple innings isn't going to get it done now. It's a 6-2 ball game. No.
Edge will not let that be an easy. And it's going to be a grounder right up the middle into mids as he runs to first. Oh, they strike. He's going to be safe. He is safe. Didn't had it in hand, but not up, and that's going to be a run for Ethan Johnson.
Needed to charge it. Needed to be up there a little bit quicker on those balls up the middle because they don't have somebody playing short right up the middle. And that was one. That's the first one that really the Edge probably want back. 3rd run on the board, and now here's Castaneda, who seems to have a knack for getting 2-out hits when he needs to get them. How many times did we see him do that last year for the Jets?
Many, many.
I dare say the Jets probably would not have been in the championship game last year if it hadn't been for Castaneda at the bottom of their lineup. He was a big part of their championship in Oklahoma as well, and up in Indianapolis. Just gets clutch hits, and if he gets one here, they could turn the order and might be game on.
And it's going to be foul on the right. He's getting some contact there. And there it goes on to the right and just rolling foul, just barely before the base. That would have been an extremely well-placed ball.
That would have been a race between him and Corian.
Headed back up to the plate.
The Archers formed in 2020, really, during the pandemic-shortened season. Their first tournament, I recall it, it was an 18 tournament in Indianapolis, the week that the World Series was supposed to be. The Archers sent a team, and they did not win a game at that tournament, but you could just tell that there were things coming on the horizon.
And almost taking out Mike's head as it goes up down the center, going over Corey's hands, and that would have been Jason Dobbs coming over if that's going to hold on the.
They're going to check
out.
this.
That was a split second either way. I'd hate to make this call. Jason Dobbs coming over as that had bounced beyond Corey's glove. He's
Jason Dobbs is defensive specialist.
double checking over here with the...
This is a big call here because if it's
He's out. He's maintaining that is out.
it is out.
What's the score?
It's 6-3 as we head into the top of the
But
fourth.
you guys need to ask at the scorer's table, not at the booth. All right, please.
Archers heading over toward their line to have their blindfolds checked as the Edge have already made their way in for their at-bat. IFB Solutions, one of our sponsors for today's game of the day. If you are either seeking a job or looking to build your ideal workforce, IFB Solutions is here to help. For job seekers, please email at careers@ifbsolutions.org or call Brent Burkholder, the HR Project and Recruitment Manager, at 336-245-5611. Employers, please contact Shannon Satterfield, the Director of Professional Services, at 336-618-0115 or S. Satterfield at IFB Solutions to partner with IFB Solutions today.
So we're halfway through this semifinal game in the winner's bracket, and it's 6-3 Indy Edge leading the Gateway Archers. And, you know, let's be honest, the Archers have struggled a little bit this first 3 innings of the game, and yet they're the home team and they're only down 3. Now, you're going to have to contend with the, let's see, bottom part of the
Eric
Indy
Rodriguez.
Edge order. Eric Rodriguez, instead of leading off their lineup, will lead off this inning. And then Miguel Tello and Caleb Wright. So this might be an opportunity for the Archers, if they can lock down the bottom half of the Edge order, to turn this around a little bit. They got 2 runs that last inning.
Just had Jason Price over conferring with Mike Woodward here as we were waiting for Archers to take the field.
And I am going to check and see if we have a score update from the other semifinal.
And thank you to all our volunteers who helped make this week possible. And if you are out listening on the live stream, please give a shout out to anyone playing in these games today. They like to hear that response on their playing.
We do have a score update from Field 7, 5-2 Indy Thunder heading to the 3rd.
Indy Thunder over
The BSO Philly Fire in the other semifinal. That's the other undefeated game.
ooh, right on the edge of Eric's bat.
The Indy Thunder without Kyle Lewis for that game. He was injured in warm-ups. Fortunately, x-rays came back negative on his leg, but it was pretty swollen. I wouldn't expect... Well, anything can happen on Saturday if they get there. There's a strike.
A little bit of an early swing there. Eric probably going to take a pass on this as he rests the bat upon his shoulders. Slapping the leg as that comes by.
Full count on Eric
We
Rodriguez.
have Ethan Johnson asking for a time out in the field for the plane coming by overhead.
That's a good call by Ethan, who's got about as good a ears as anybody you're going to see in the game. And he heard that one coming from afar, and he was right. It's going directly over here, so pretty much we'll let that clear.
Mike checking out the field as he waits for the plane to pass.
And remind you that the winner of this game will play the winner of that Indy Thunder BSO Philly Fire game in the undefeated winners bracket final tomorrow morning at 11 Central Time.
And Eric slams it as a grounder over into right as he runs for first past Ethan Johnson. And that's easy peasy for Eric Rodriguez.
A lawnmower opposite field, but he got through. So there's one of those 2 runs back. It's 7-3 now, and that assures Corey White of an at-bat in this inning now, as there's still nobody out. You got Tello and Wright, but you will get back to the top now. Big run.
That was sailing through the grass right past Ethan Johnston.
Big run for the generationally spectacular Eric Rodriguez. That's Eric with a K. Think Vikings, E-R-I-K.
Eric the Viking. He's going to have Miguel Tello up at home plate.
Now you've got Miguel Tello, and we pronounce it Tello because that's what we've always done. It's actually pronounced Teo, T-E-L-L-O. That's that double L. So Tello or Teo, however you like it. He's got championships to his name.
And he likes it out in the field.
Yeah, he liked it in the 2021 championship game, didn't he? Holy cow, when he was playing left field in Zach Bueller's place.
He was spectacular out there.
Man. In probably one of the most memorable games in the history of this sport, which you called with Matt Wallace that day.
He did a spectacular job out there. Usually see a lot more focus on those short players, but he was very good at it. And it's going to be a grounder right over to Mark Morris, short left as he runs to first. And Mark has that. That is an out.
Solid. So after a little bit of early struggles over there, Mark Morris has made a couple of solid plays when he's gotten a chance back-to-back. He hadn't gotten a lot of good chances. That's a big out there. And so now let's see what happens. Caleb Bright has struck out his first 2 times at bat.
See if he can change the setup here for himself.
Well, they're going to keep him in there in the 6th spot as we bat here in the top of the 4th in a 7-3 game. Indy Edge leading, the defending world champions. If you're going to beat them, you got to knock them out.
Getting the base check. Mike asking for quiet from the benches. And again, just underneath the swing.
90% and keep his weight back. That's what you tell these young players. Trust your pitcher and your power.
And it's going to be a little grounder foul on the left.
He didn't want that anyway. Now he's found the ball, and he's got 2 more strikes left to try to put it in play here. This is the biggest game Caleb Wright has ever played in, though, and keep that in mind.
He's got that lined up on home plate as he sets his feet. Guidance from Kyle.
We got quite a crowd here for this one.
Yeah, Mike going to bring out a new ball. He's bringing this one in.
Yep, we're going to change out balls and tell you about our Beat Baseball ball sponsors. Hannigan Team Realty, Cardinals Care and the St. Louis Cardinals, Major League Baseball Foundation. They supplied some funding for the kids of our league program. Balls, shirts, and other giveaways. Thank all of you for that. And again, the host sponsors for this World Series, Mind's Eye Radio and the St. Louis Lighthouse.
Kyle holding up the ball out into the outfielders to see if they can hear. They're happy with it. They said no, they don't like that one either.
And among all of the other things that the St. Louis Lighthouse has done for us and for this World Series and for the Gateway Archers, they are also storing our equipment and saving us quite a bit of cost on equipment storage. We appreciate that.
It takes up a lot of space for all those bases. They're fairly large and 250 beep balls.
They are also gathering an inventory and a stock of shells. Shells are 16-inch softballs that can be used to make the beep baseball to assist in ball production. So thank you to Eric Warnhoff, who's been out here all week long, and the folks at the St. Louis Lighthouse, and really all of the lighthouses around the country. The Chicago Lighthouse is involved. One of their administrators, Missy Lykowski, is the base judge over on the third base line. The Austin Lighthouse has for years been involved with the Austin Blackhawks and things down in the state of Texas, and so we really appreciate the chain of lighthouses across the country that help adaptive sports for the blind and visually impaired. So I think we got our ball change complete here.
We do have that. I think we're going to... Caleb resetting up. They're going to get that. It's going to listen to it come across. Check a pass. And he got another taste of it, but foul behind us.
He hung in there. 1 out. Top of the 4th. 7-3. Edge leading. Looking for more.
Still correcting Caleb's stance. And it's going to be a high pop up right to cameraman Cam. Caught it in his hands.
He's still hanging in there on a full count here with 1 out. Corey White, dangerous in the on-deck circle.
And getting a taste on that as it goes deep out into right as he runs for third. But Ethan Johnston taking care of business. It's an out for Ethan Johnston.
Well, good news on both ends there. The good news for the Edge is Caleb Wright got solid contact. The good news for the Archers is they had Ethan Johnston positioned perfectly, and one of the best defenders in NBBA history makes the play there. That's a big one. 2 outs.
This is going to bring up Corey White to the plate with his purple gloves.
Turn me up, Corey.
Boy, these teams are really settling in now. You're seeing defense being played. You're seeing contact now. It was a little bit raggedy at the start, but as they've settled into this game, you're seeing beat baseball played at a very high level. It's what we would expect from these two, who did not face each other during the regular season. They just passed at tournaments. And
It's going to be a strike.
we thought we would see this Edge Archers matchup in the championship game of the Indy tournament, but then the VSO Philly Fire pulled the upset on the Edge.
And it's going to be a grounder foul on the left. Mark already over there, ready to grab it. Even out past third base.
And then we thought we might see this matchup in the Bolingbrook Championship game in the second weekend of June, but then the Thunder rallied and walked off the Archers, and they got to face the Edge instead. So here we are now, Archers and Edge for the first time battling it out here at the World Series in a winner's bracket semi. Man, it doesn't get any better than this.
And taking a pass as he leans in as it comes across. And high and deep foul on the left.
Well,
Missy.
right idea, wrong direction.
Missy's got a ways to go to retrieve that.
He got the head of the bat out there just a wee bit early and put a charge into that one. Corey, of course, the only player in beat baseball history to have 2 game-winning championship game hits at the World Series. He did it with his home run in 2021, and last year, both times doing it to the San Antonio Jets. And there's a couple of Jets across the way there that remember that all too well. Corey has a knack for history and making it.
Being the
Being
history.
the history.
Stay there. Stay there.
I mean, he might have a knack for the knowledge of it too, but he definitely has a knack for being history.
Turn me up, Corey.
And a little bit early.
Well, struck him out that time, and again, only 1 run allowed in the inning by the Archers, as now the momentum may be shifting a little bit. It's 7-3, and it'll be the top of the Gateway order coming up in the 4th.
Bottom of the 4th, 7-3.
golden opportunity for the Archers now to get back into this game. Morris, Holland, and Smith due up.
Edge taking their place to have those blindfolds checked again before taking the field. Mike Curtis coming over, pitcher for the Archers to oversee. Mike checking each player.
And there it is, and we had wondered the anticipated change that I had at least been speculating about, I guess I'll speak for myself, is going to happen. Chesser's going to go in for right.
Let's see where they put him out on defense. If he's going to go in the exact same position, far out into right.
I'll bet he is.
It looks like that's where he's going. And that is where he's headed. This is going to have Mark Morris.
So you can pencil Chesser, the veteran, into the 6th spot in the batting order in place of Caleb Wright. But right now, the Edge need to worry about playing some defense as the Archers are beginning to surge a little bit here.
Mike's getting warmed up, it looks like. Let's see what happens here in the 4th.
Deep breath, Mark. Do your thing, baby.
Brandon ready to step into that deep right.
We got a score update, an interesting one after this pitch. Fire and Thunder tied at 7, headed to the 4th.
Oh my.
Oh my. And that's Tyler Rodriguez against his former team.
And pop up, bat coming out of his hands. Going to be short and right as he runs to first, and he's got it. Mark beating him out.
Mark using that speed. He's about as fast as they come, and he was flying down to first base.
Corian was there on top of the ball, but just not beating him out.
Morris checks in with his first run of the game, and it's 7-4. Here comes Gateway.
Mike out here conferring with Mike. We're going to hold for this.
I wonder what the discussion. I didn't think that was terribly close. Did you?
It was not enough to call a call. I think they were just discussing as they checked the field to be ready and then waiting for this airplane. Justin staying limber at home plate, rotating.
I'll tell you what, that's very interesting over there. We saw how well that the Fire were hitting the ball yesterday, and Jared Woodard pitched a perfect game against the Comets yesterday. Perfect game means no strikeouts. It's kind of rare.
And Justin Holland, camouflage arm sleeves. Just dropping down on the plate. It's gonna be
Caesar, that's one.
and blasted up into the air. Pop fly deep into left as he runs for third.
Yeah!
And he's got that run. The Archers have found a groove.
Woo, bullseye. This is the Archer team we expected to see. This is the Archer team we needed to see. 7-5, nobody out in the bottom of the fourth.
That was just behind Miguel Tello. He turned around and run for it, but there was so much air.
Right, Tello got close to that, though, as it was in the air. Man, he's one of the best in the business.
He was. He was running backwards, and he was right behind him when it landed.
So Morris and Holland, back-to-back. That's the first two-run rally that we've seen consecutive for the Archers here in this game. And it's 7-5, nobody out, David Smith. Mike Curtis seems to have found his groove all of a sudden.
First again, please. Here we go. Here we go. Set.
And a pop-up by David Smith, short into
Just
center
landed.
right as he goes to third. Corey.
He's there.
And he's got it. That's 3 now in a row. Archers heating up.
Top 3 hitters in the lineup all do their job. It's a 1-run game now. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th.
As they send Rich Crussell to the plate. David coming back in. His bench all standing. As Smiling comes back in.
Those are 3 all-stars there that just scored back to back to back, and that's what you'd expect. Boy, it's really, really getting tight now.
Third. Here we go. Come on, big game. Set. Come on.
Rolling off the top of the bat.
Right on it there, and Richie is a middle of the field hitter when he's locked in.
Just underneath the bat.
And that might not be a bad idea, because if you can get it between Eric and Corian, you know, it's going to take a while to get back to Corey.
It's going to be a pop-up. Short
landed.
and that's foul on the left.
They're getting air under the ball now, though.
It's already all the way up first by the time that came down and the call was made.
And you see, and that's the idea. You want to elevate the ball because the fielder cannot make a play on the ball until it comes down. You can give yourself a nice head start to the base if you can loft it and get it up there in the air. We saw Howland do it. We saw Smith do it. And on that one, Crussell just didn't put it in play, but that wouldn't be a bad idea, although you want to make sure you get it. I would want to get it over the head of Eric Rodriguez at least if I
You're on
could.
the left.
Yeah.
Here we go. Set. Come on. Yeah, baby. Stay in there. Stay in there. There you go. Stay on it, baby. Here we go. Set.
And just coming off foul on the right.
Ethan Johnston on deck.
Just over the top of the bat. It's gonna stops that run train that the Archers had, but Ethan
Russell's
Johnston.
struggling. That's his second straight strikeout in this game, and that's very interesting. I don't know if I can make another prediction, but you got Chad Dillon, a lefty, sitting over there on the bench if need be. Either way, now 1 out. They need to get this rally back going again here as Ethan Johnston comes to the plate.
Bat up at the ready for Ethan. Just over the bat. Rolling off the
that
top
back.
to just behind the catcher. And it's going to be a pop-up,
Stay
short
fair.
on the right, almost right into Corion's hands, and he did.
Man, wow, positioned perfectly as Ethan went opposite field, and Corian, solid, stayed with it. Another put out. Both of the White brothers are making their presence felt in this game. 2 down after 3 in, and now, guess who? Representing the tying
Ricky
run with 2 outs.
Castaneda.
Here we go again now, 2 outs. Tying run at the plate, and it's Castaneda.
Ricky he was wearing earlier, had his white jersey on, and he has switched over to his black jersey.
And this seems like deja vu from last year. Here we go. Ricky can tie it up and bring Mark Morris to the plate with one of his well-placed balls and fast runs here. The USABA future Para-Olympian.
And a pop up into center. It's going to be short
Just
to mid
landed.
as he runs for himself there. Tyler trying to get...
Tie game! Tie game! Ricky Castaneda does it again. A bang play. Who came up on that ball?
That was Eric had it but did not have it up.
And he had to come a long way, and Ricky's fast.
All the way over to the center.
We got a new ball game, 7-7 here now, too. Bottom of the fourth, still 2 outs, and Morris to the plate. 4 in the inning for the Archers.
And here those Archers completely changed in their volume over on their bench. Waiting for this plane, Mike pointing up at the sky, and still not a cloud in the sky today. All week so far we've had nice giant fluffy clouds giving us occasional bouts of shade, but it doesn't look like that's going to be happening today.
I have a prediction to make here at 9:30 a.m. Central Time that this will be the hottest day of the series by the time it's over with. This is probably the most heat we've felt at this time of day so far. I mean, it's been relatively pleasant. Morris scored to start all of this noise, leading off this inning.
Got those base checks, and we're ready for the pitch. And it's going to be a grounder, but it's over to Eric on the left as he runs for third, and Eric has it. He's not going to be denied again.
Just didn't get it off the ground, and that's one of the best hitting it to one of the best. And defense wins the day there, but the Archers put up 4 and tie the game. We'll head to the 5th. It is 7-7. Heads up, 7-up, Rosina.
I remember playing that game. Archers are lining up on their first base line to get their blindfold check. They're going to have to hold the edge here. And New View, Oklahoma. It's not what you can see, it's what you can be. They've been empowering individuals who are blind or have low vision since 1949 in maximizing their opportunities for independence through all stages of life. They accomplish this in 3 ways: comprehensive clinics and low vision services, meaningful employment opportunities, and engaging community programs. New View, Oklahoma. For more information, visit nvoklahoma.org.
And those engaging programs have begun to include beep baseball. Of course, you got the Oklahoma Lookouts down there now. They host a tournament now, the Sooner State Invitational. And New View, Oklahoma just wrapped up a whole summer's worth of kids camps down there, getting kids out and playing sports with them and doing other activities to keep them active. Isn't that wonderful? I know how much we enjoyed the summers when we were kids, and we hope that we don't lose that. Get them out, get them active. Teach them to work and play well together, and they'll be more responsible adults. Thank you, New View, Oklahoma. Oklahoma, okay. Top of the 5th, 7-7.
Ja'Cory Wiley up at the plate for the edge. A little bit of conversation there with Kyle and Braden up at home plate.
This is all you could want so far from a winner's bracket semifinal game.
The Archers seem to have caught their groove. Let's see if they can keep that as well on their defense.
Who can close the deal? That's going to be the question.
A little on the outside, past the bat.
It is one thing to have the champions on the ropes. It's another thing to finish them off. Many teams have had them on the ropes over the especially last year, and as we saw, they always fought back.
Taking a pass on that pitch. And he's going to have a line drive down into left. Mark laying down right in front of it, and he has it out before he can hit first. Mark Morris.
The stars are starting to shine here in St. Charles, Missouri, and Mark Morris was solid there. 1 out, and now you've got the combination of Corian White and Eric Rodriguez headed up.
Mark was right on top of that.
Come on, Corian, pick him up.
Corian White of the plate. Purple shorts, white batting gloves, and bright neon shoes. Bat up at the ready. Just over the top of the swing. Kyle having Braden adjust his mitt. And it's going to be a pop up and foul on the left over by the edge bench.
This was a 6-1 ball game at one time. Now it's 7-7.
Can't put sand down here. They won't let us. We have to get turf plates. They won't let us put sand on their grass because they said it kills it.
Hey, is that a little cloud cover coming this morning? I got a little breeze kicking up.
No clouds.
No clouds yet, but we got a little
Still no
breeze here
clouds.
behind us.
And it's going to be a line drive left. Mark trying to stop. It's gone past him as he runs to first. Justin trying. He's going to be out.
Oh,
That
that's
was
a huge call, and the Edge don't like it.
Justin Holland backing up Mark Morris.
They are saying they heard a double call. I don't know how there possibly could have been on that side.
If it's still out 6 deep. Thank you.
There's no way it would. If it was, it would have been a player. They are saying there were 2 numbers called, but that ball wasn't close enough to. I'm not sure. I didn't hear it. Let's see if Mike
Mike is
did.
out.
If Mike heard a double call, it's an automatic run. Boy, we've seen this before. We've seen it bite the Jets once last year, then they were able to recover.
He's going to go check with Missy.
Call stands. Huge out. Who made that play?
Justin Holland.
Holland, his second big play of the game. He made a big one in the first as well. Now it's up to Eric Rodriguez in a 7-7 game, 2 outs in the 5th. Now it's the Edge who could use a run.
Eric Rodriguez might be just the person to do that.
Let's go, D. Get in here. First, please. Third. Let's
We
play.
have the base checks and they're ready to play. And hitting it hard, it's going to barely go past Kyle there, so it will be foul.
One more, baby. One.
We had both Ricky and Mark both right up there on top of that.
Yeah, the game hanging in the balance right now. Every pitch, every first step by the defense, every base run, so important now. As one of these teams will move on to tomorrow's 11 o'clock undefeated game, the other one will have to win 3 games tomorrow just to get to Saturday.
And rolling right off the top of that bat. Just over.
They're 1 out away from a shutdown inning, the Archers defense. Eric 1 swing away from giving his team the lead again.
And smashing line drive out into Justin. Stopping
What a
it,
play!
hits him out!
What amazing play! Are you serious, St. Louis?
He just threw his body right down as soon as it landed. He was right behind it, just reached down and picked it up incredible, beating Eric Rodriguez to first by at least 5 steps. Incredible out by Justin Holland.
Those are the kind of plays that could win you a championship. The Archers with a 3-up, 3-down inning when they needed it most. It's a tie game going to the bottom of the 5th. Gateway coming up, 2, 3, and 4. Guess who gets to lead it off for the Archers? You make a great play, what do you get to do? You get to lead off the inning. If I have it right, it is Holland, Smith, and Crussell due up.
That should be who we have coming up. The
Wow.
Archers holding the Edge from getting any runs, just like the Edge held the Archers in the first inning. So now they both have an inning where they have held the other with not a single run up on the board. Incredible put out there by Justin. I thought there was no way, but he landed it right in front of it. Now, almost seemed like an easy up front short out.
Wow, mark that play, Rosina, because that was a full count pitch. Eric Rodriguez clubbed it, and Holland made the play to keep the game tied.
Bringing him right back up to the plate.
Now he'll look to untie it for the Archers.
The Edge still along their third baseline, getting their blindfold check while Justin waits patiently at home plate at ease with his blue, red, and white camouflage arm sleeves. Edge now heading out into the field, and we do still have Brandon in that Caleb Wright position. Mike Curtis making his way back to the pitcher's mound.
Boy, we're going to have a hard time with the Hannigan Team Realty Player of the Game here. There's been so many good
That's
ones.
gonna be rough. He's had 2 good putouts out there very far deep, but that last one was
Well, he had 2 in that inning, and he had 1 in the
Yeah.
first. I count 3 for
That's-
Justin now.
just impressive defense there.
Yep.
Yep.
First put out of the game. Our scorekeeper, Katie Mathena, our All-Star Showcase scorekeeper as well. They brought the high quality out to this field today, and why
All
not?
the stars here at once.
And a big crowd here off to our right there. There is the pavilion, and this is attracting some audience, as I'm sure is the other one, which I'm waiting for an update on. Last we heard, that game was tight. Here we go.
Have the base check. Justin's ready for the pitch. And he's going to send it right back to where he was, deep and far and left, as he's already at first. He's safe. Not sure if this is going to be a home run call or not. It doesn't look like anybody's rushing out there. It would have been close.
I don't think it was high enough, but he didn't miss an inch of that ball, and that is Holland giving the Archers their first lead of the game here in the bottom of the 5th, 8-7 Gateway.
D. Smith already up at home plate as we're still waiting on the ball to make its way.
Smith scored the last inning as part of that 4-run Archers rally that got him back into this.
Mike Curtis might have had a slow start up on the pitching, but it looks like it is all on.
Yeah, he's dialed it in now.
David Smith up the plate, have the base checks, and ready for the pitch. High up, pop fly
Just
into left. Eric Rodriguez over there though, but he is safe. Eric had just gotten his hands on it on the ground when D. Smith hit third.
Just enough legs for D. Smith to score another huge run for the Archers. It's 9-7. They're going crazy over here to our right. Still nobody out, and they know that they can just pile on runs now, and they're 3 defensive outs away from the biggest win in team history. Not over yet, though. Got to keep scoring. Rich Crussell due up now. and he has struggled today in that DH spot.
He's ready for the pitch.
9-7.
Oh, just bare miss. And it's gonna be on the. It's just barely went foul, just at third base.
That was going to be a tough play for Eric. He gets over to that line as well as anybody that I've ever seen play this game, but that was going to be a tough one.
He was on top of it. He was tracking it all the way. Rich coming back to home plate. Quick exhale as he brings it back up over the shoulder. It's going to be a strike. It's going to be a pop-up foul on the right.
Well, the contact's there, but still nothing in fair territory here in the last few at-bats. There's
and
one.
It's going to be foul on the left, over by third again. A little bit further out. The first one was the closest one running along the line. Missy rolling the ball back in.
I wouldn't fall for it though if I were them. I wouldn't so much guard that line because, you know, Krussel's generally his best power is going to be middle to, you know, 4 to 4 if you call 6 zones in the middle, 4 to 4 on the field. The minute you guard the line, he go up the middle, except that he struck out.
That is a strike. Out. But they are still leading 9-7 over the edge, the bottom of the 5th, as we bring Ethan Johnston up to the plate.
Well, they got to get the party started again here now. Ethan's certainly capable of it.
Have a plane a little bit further in the distance.
Ethan has just one run today? Yeah, I think he's just scored once.
Ethan asking for first again. Oh. Asking for it to be turned, but it's straight as it's going to get. It's going to be foul on the right.
Foul. Yep, he's been going opposite field. His one run today was opposite field, and they've got Brandon Chesser back there just into the game. No lefties in the starting lineup for the Archers, and no lefties in this starting lineup for the Edge. Sort of interesting.
It's going to be a grounder into short left.
That's
As Eric
Eric
scoops that right up.
Yep.
That's going to be an out. Easy for Eric Rodriguez.
Yep, that was a miss hit. Grounded it to him. Now 2 outs, and guess what? Here we go again.
Ricky Castaneda, and while it's not tied, there's nothing to say he still can't.
Well, he scored 2 2-out runs his last time up to keep rallies going. So, see if it repeats itself a third time here, which would be massive because Mark Morris is heating, you know, he's gotten a little heated up here as this game's gone along.
Just dropping foul. It's going to be a grounder over onto right, just past Corian as he runs to third.
He's there.
Can Brandon get to it in time? He is safe. He did it again.
Castaneda again. 3 out runs in this Archer rally. Their 10th run of the game. It is now 10-7. And now back to the top of the lineup. Boy, between Castaneda, Holland, David Smith, those have been your real big top performers here for Gateway as they have come all the way back. This was a 6-1 game in the third inning.
Now they lead by 3.
Now it's 10-7, and they have the last at bat. So look, we've seen here from this very table, we've seen the Edge come back time after time, especially at last year's World Series. But regardless of what happens, the Archers have the last at bat, and right now they have a 3-run lead. And now Mark Morris can just relax because now all this is just gravy here. Get a good one, Marky.
Mike conferring with Missy over at third base.
There's no way that he's going to keep that call. She was angled all the way over there. I'll be embarrassed if if they reverse this because I've set y'all up for it, but I believe he was safe. And so far, Mike Woodard and I have agreed on every single call.
Marks, he is out.
Oh my! Wow.
He is out. That has been reversed. So
Far be it from me to
9-7.
question Mike. It'll be interesting to talk to Mike after the game and find out which one of his volunteers he consulted with that made him change that call. Because if it was the third base judge, she is way over on the farthest angle. All right.
Well, that sends the Archers over to the first base line to have their blindfolds checked as they head out into the field. The Edge is already up. And if you're navigating the mortgage process, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. Making every mortgage feel like a win with the Ed Fitzpatrick team at Cross Country Mortgage. When you work with Cross Country Mortgage, you'll collaborate closely with a licensed professional who will make sure you get the mortgage that you deserve. The entire team is available to assist you from application to closing and beyond. Get in touch with Beep Baseball fan and loan advisor Ed at ed.fitz. That's ed.fitz@ccm.com.
Well, the Archers just have to forget about that and go out with a 2-run lead and try to make these 3 outs. You know, Mike Woodard and his crew can see a lot better than I can. This is probably the first time he's made a close call that I'm not so sure about, but he had a basis for it, and he did consult with his crew before he made the call. All right, here we go.
Miguel Tello at the plate as the Archers set up out in the field. Justin still walking back to that deep left position, and Ethan Johnston moving over to the deep right. Spotters setting the final positions.
Score update from the Fire and the Thunder. Philly leading the Thunder 11-10, headed to the top of the 6th. So that one's hanging in the balance. 11-10 Philly after 5. Winner of this game plays the winner of that one for the right to play on Saturday. Here it's 9-7.
And it's going to be a grounder, almost taking out Kyle up the center as he runs to first. Mark running over there, and Mark has that.
That's one. Mark Morris with the range. Made it over there to the middle. The grass helped slow that ball up. A good quick call, and one big out. Now we'll see our first look at Brandon Chesser, who entered the game for Caleb Wright.
will be his first at bat as he's waiting patiently at home plate with his black head cover.
He has power, but he does not have the speed that he once did, and we'll see. First of all, I wonder if he's going to bat. Yeah, he'll bat from the right side.
He is batting from the right.
Early in his career, he hit from the left side occasionally. There's no real benefit, in my opinion, to switch hitting in beat baseball because it's coach pitch. All you're going to do is cross your pitcher up doing that. There's a couple of players in the league who try. Most will not. So Brandon from the right side. He is capable of going opposite field, though. Castaneda and Johnston need to be ready.
And it's going to go to the right. Foul.
So that's exactly right. He is an opposite field hitter.
Tall purple socks and bright neon orange shoes as he heads back to home plate. Repositioning with home plate. Slow drags across the plate and at the ready. And it's going to be again foul on the right.
He's still late. Either that or they're aiming that way. I don't know, it's pick your poison, though, when you've got Morris and Castaneda. This game has moved along at a nice, good clip. We are just now closing in on the 2-hour mark.
Brandon retightening up his batting gloves. And we have a time call. Ethan Johnson again asking for that call out in the field.
And we'll just drag the drama out a little bit more as we wait for this plane to pass.
Another loud one.
This game, not for the faint of heart. Archer's clinging to a 9-7 lead, trying to close the edge out and knock the world champions into the elimination bracket. They are 2 outs away from doing it. 2-run lead.
Mike's headed back up, ready to play. Brandon's going to be taking a pass on this, waiting patiently.
Now he's got a swing.
A couple drags across the plate and at the ready. And it's going to be a strike.
Well, now they've run it full. They've gone as far as they can go in this at-bat. Huge pitch here. The last thing you want is to give away an out.
And it's going to be a bouncing
On the
grounder,
ground.
short into right as he runs
Ricky.
for first. Ricky over there scooping that up. Easy for Ricky Castaneda with that out and short right.
Well, Ricky didn't get it up quite as quickly as I thought he would, but he did get it up in time to get Brandon Chesser. 2 down, 1 to go. 2-run game, and here is Corey White. How do you like it, fans? How do you like it? Is Corey going to score here and cut the lead to 1? Can they get him? Will he do the unthinkable? If you want to beat the champs, you have to knock them out, and the Archers have the edge on the ropes.
Mike checking out in the field to make sure that they're ready. Mike calling for quiet as we have a lot more people coming over to join the end of this game.
One more bullseye is all the Archers need. And they are excellent marksmen.
And it's going to be high fly pop over to Justin Holland. Past Justin as he runs for first. And there they go. Corey White with a run up for the edge. Justin not able to get to that in time.
You knew when he hit it that Justin Howland was going to have one shot at that, and it wasn't a real good shot. Howland, of course, has got 3 putouts playing back there today, which is a lot for a deep left. But not that one. That cuts it to 1. Here comes the tying run now, Ja'Cory Wiley. If the Archers have to bat in the bottom of the 6th, they would have the top of their lineup with Mark Morris and Justin Howland and so forth. But they want to keep that from happening right here. 9-8. 2 outs.
And that base check for Ja'Cory Wiley. And it's going to be a bouncing right up the
It should
center,
do it.
short in the middle. Is there Ricky
Got him!
Castaneda?
Bullseye! Bullseye, baby! Archers win! Archers beat the Indy Edge. They've knocked down the world champions and banished them down to the elimination bracket. The Archers will go undefeated to Friday and play at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Go crazy, Archer fans! Go crazy!
Ricky Castaneda coming up short on that, pulling that, just sliding in, grabbing that last out to take them to the finish.
In come-from-behind fashion, they erase a 5-run deficit and hang on to defeat the Edge 9-8 and move into the undefeated winners bracket final tomorrow morning to face either the Indy Thunder or the Philly Fire. Rosina, it's too close for me to call. I'm going to ask you to select our Hannigan Team Realty Player of the Game.
So I'm going to have a hard call here. It's really tight between Justin Holland with his spectacular defense out there. But I think in the end, I'm going to have to go Ricky Castaneda. He really kept his team there going offensively right when they needed it to get them all sparked up, as we know they need that to keep going and get the Emery. And then those last minute finish there, that just tied the knot for me with that put out there. So they don't even have to come to bat. For me, it's going to be Ricky Castaneda.
Ooh, Ricky Castaneda edging out Justin Howland, and an honorable mention I'll give in a losing cause, Corey White, spectacular on both sides of the ball. But in the end, the hometown Archers pull it out for their fans. 9-8 the final in a classic. We will be back at 2 o'clock Central Time or thereabouts this afternoon for a win-or-go-home elimination bracket game. Until then, thanks for tuning in. Thanks